running because they
All
we
right, so
scored
you heard
43
that. Here we are
points.
talking sports, and the coach is talking about how he played middle linebacker today.
I am not a middle linebacker. I'm a fat lineman. I had no business trying to be a middle linebacker. So if we're calling 911 in the middle of the show, you know why.
So today we are going to talk about, what is it? We're going to talk about, oh yeah, it's opening day tomorrow. So, any big news? So let's see. Bosa got paid, 5 years, pile of money. Kels almost blew out his knee, and Cooper Cup is on his way to the IR, right?
Well, he's out for week 1, that's for sure.
He's out for week 1. That's because Wardy drafted him. So
Did you draft both?
who?
It's very
No, I
ironic.
didn't get Kels. I got Andrews.
It's funny that everybody. I mean, I stayed away from either one, but still, wow.
A guy that
Cooper
gets
Kupp
like
is-
60% of the share of his offense, you can't leave laying around.
Yeah, but he was. I told you he was injured, and he's 30 years old, bro.
I
Look,
took a flyer on Hopkins last year, and he missed how many games? 6.
yeah. But you know how that goes. Once a football player is over the age of 30, unless you have a deal with the devil, like what's his name, Brady did,
Mm-hmm.
Timmy Brady.
Jimmy
At 30
Jimmy
years
Brady.
old, and Timmy Brady.
Timmy Brady.
Did you ever watch the show The League?
I never did.
You need to. You would love it. It's
Oh,
all
I'm
about
sure.
fantasy football. It's awesome. It's a comedy. But anyways, at 30 years old, in football years, you're over the hill, right? So recovery from that is kind of tough, man.
Then what the hell are you out there playing linebacker? What do we call you?
Well, I'm a coach and an idiot, so choose one.
Coach and an idiot.
Nice.
You heard it here. Clip it. All
Well,
right.
I told you we scored 43 points, but we missed 2 big blocks on 2 of those touchdowns. So I was making a point that the linebacker that they missed was slow, and the guys are like, "Well, he's super slow. He wasn't going to make the tackle anyways." I'm like, "All right, I'm going to play linebacker, and if I touch the running back, y'all are running the rest of practice." I ended up bleeding from my arm, by the way. Someone put a helmet right in my forearm.
Nice.
They're like, "Coach, you're bleeding." I was like, "All right, keep going."
We're good.
I was like, "Oh, that hurts." Tomorrow I'll feel it bad.
Yeah. Yeah. That was nice being 20 and not feeling things.
Yeah, I'm running the base to 50, and it hurts.
Yeah. All right. So, guess what the opening game is? It's here in Kansas City, and the Chiefs are playing the Lions.
Are you going?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I'm pulling up the games and stuff so I can do research because Calvin Ridley's not here.
Yeah, Calvin Ridley is unfortunately doing work. What a loser.
Yeah.
And starting week 1 for my fantasy football team. Yay, Calvin.
Hey, I think he's gonna have a big season, but we'll get to that. So where are we at? Kansas City, Detroit?
Kansas City, Detroit.
Detroit.
Heck of a Thursday night game, too.
Detroit's gonna come out big. They're gonna come out and be a better team this year. It's I believe big time in their receiver, the Egyptian, as we all know, I call him, St. Brown. I think he's gonna have a huge season. I think he's going to do really well. I think Goff, for some reason, came to Detroit and was reborn a better quarterback. Not sure about their run game. Who's on their run game?
A new kid. Jameer.
Gibbs.
Yeah.
We'll see how the run game goes.
Not a prototype, right? Like they got rid of a big back and a tiny back, and now they got a fast back. Yeah.
We'll see how the run game goes, man. They had a good combination last season that worked for them. We'll see how Gibbs does and wherever else they have left. But the pass game is still there and it's huge. Now, with all that said done, will they beat the Chiefs? Listen, the Chiefs are phenomenal. They've got Patty Mahomes. They've got, Pacheco at running back, who we'll see how he shows up. They've got some receivers that are unproven. Sky Moore, those kids. Sky Moore is trying to work his way back in the starting lineup because he was in Andy Reid's doghouse last season.
Yep.
And we'll see how they all do, but the big factor here, and the factor that's probably going to be missing, it's 50-50 right now, right? Travis Kelce?
Yep.
What's his status, Calvin?
I think it's doubtful.
That's huge, man.
You
And
just
I
don't
say
know.
that's
I mean,
huge.
you just don't know, right? And maybe a Sunday night game he plays, but um, yeah,
It's still huge, and it is huge because look, I'm sure they have a backup tight end in there that everybody's going to hit that waiver wire. Oh, we got to get this guy. Look, you can go get whatever tight end you want on Kansas City's roster. He is not Travis Kelce.
yeah. You could pick any other tight
Yeah,
end, and it's not Travis Kelsey.
no, and any of those tight ends combined are not going to be Travis Kelce. They're not going to get his stats. They're not going to get his. Travis Kelce can be double covered and still catch balls. Travis Kelce can be triple covered, and all of a sudden he's in the end zone by himself. Like the guy is just phenomenal, and you can't replace that. Is Dak going to play big in this game? I think so. I think Kansas City will still win this game because it's Patty Mahomes, right? Like that guy could play with his foot anytime. We talked about it last season. Detroit's a good team. They're going to have a good season. It doesn't start here against Kansas City. I think Kansas City wins it. So now it's not going to be a blowout. Definitely a close game. But I think we're all going to be like, wow, Patrick Mahomes, miracle worker. Because he has no receivers and he still wins games, bro. Now, missing Kels is big, but he'll still find a way to win. So, Chiefs by 7. Are we doing the spread or not? What is the spread on this one?
Nah, I don't. No, we don't have Calvin, so it'd be yeah.
All right.
I don't.
So, Chiefs by 7.
You can just put
I
the
can put,
score, and I'll write it down, and we
I don't
can.
know what the score will be. I'm just going to say Chiefs by 7.
Yeah.
I'll find the spread, though.
This so all what you said's right. Patty Mahomes is great. He's got a bunch of wide receivers. Who's going to be the one? Is it Valdez Scanlon? Is it Sky Moore? Is it someone Tony? Who's going to be the guy? Right? Because it can't just be Kelsey. Although I said that and they won a championship basically with him last year. I don't what Juju got like 800 yards. It wasn't Sky was in the doghouse. It wasn't great. Uh, the running game's strong with the Chiefs, and Andy Reid's not a bad coach, so he might run the ball. Offenses are generally behind at this time, which doesn't help the Lions out because they're more offensively. They were number one last year in offense and last in defense. So the defense is probably better. I don't know the offense is going to be enough, and I think the Chiefs' defense is better. It's at home. Kansas City's crazy. They're coming off a world championship. I don't. This one can go either way. Again, if Kelsey's not in the lineup, the Lions might be able to take one. I, however, think the Chiefs are going to win. And it's mostly at home. Patrick Mahomes. Wouldn't be shocked if the Lions win this one. But I think it's Chiefs by 3.
I think the spread is 4.5 Chiefs.
That is what I'm seeing in chat.
Yeah, I see 4.5 Chiefs on that.
Correct.
There you go, Harker. Can you please do the spreads?
Literally put it in chat, my guy.
Wow, that's assuming I read chat, but okay.
I will
I will
tell
read
you in
chat.
voice. I'm sorry.
4.5 points, huh? They opened at 6.5 and now 4.5. Again, Chiefs by 7. They'll cover the spread if you ask me. If we're doing spread, they will definitely cover.
Yeah,
At 4.5, I would bet they cover.
I don't
It
think
is
they
going to be
will.
a close game, man. You're right. Last season, it was like Mahomes to Kels, Mahomes to Kels, Mahomes to Kels. It's like, oh, who's he going to throw to? It's going to be Kels. Oh, they'll just put 11 guys on him. He won't catch it. He still caught it.
And that
Right,
is
so
like I love the Vegas guy. They know what they're doing, right? Like these guys are the real pros. That's a beautiful line. Like just it's like
it's a sucker's line, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody thinks touchdown and they win by a field goal.
Yeah. Or the line, or the Lions win. So yeah, that's
It's too close of like. Well, yeah. I mean, look, without Kelce and all that, I'm tempted to go Lions here, but I just don't see it, man. Look, it's Mahomes' magic. It's week 1. You know he's gonna come out shining. That guy's been. Look, man. Some quarterbacks are like tigers, man. He's been locked in the cage all off season. He wants to come out, throw the ball around, have some fun.
Yeah, and
He's not.
I actually think Sky Moore is going to have a good year. Like I think I think Andy Reid's system's complicated. I think it took him a year to get in his head. That's just what I think. Who knows who's going to be the winner out of that, but I think he's got the talent, right?
I definitely drafted him in a couple leagues, so we'll see. I'm hoping so, right? Like you're right. You got to throw. It's a toss up, right? Is it Valdez Scouting? Is it Sky Moore? Who's the other guy
Well, I
now?
mean, to me,
Tony.
It's Tony. Valdez Scanlon to me he played for a great quarterback, right? So I don't think the drop, I don't. If you weren't setting the world afire with Aaron Rodgers, you're not going to set. It's not like Patrick Mahomes is going to make you that much better. And he didn't. He was a deep threat, but not very consistent. So
Who are they showing as their one? They're showing Tony, whatever his name is, as their one.
yeah,
That's crazy. That's interesting.
yep,
I guess we'll see, buddy. Kansas City by 7.
yep. And let's see who's next.
A football team.
We got Houston and Baltimore.
Wow. Should I start this too? Houston.
Disconnected. Connected. Channel
Better than
switched.
people think.
Someone
You have a
had technical
rookie quarterback?
difficulties, so say that all over again.
Okay, start over. Sorry.
Oh my. Are you ready, Woody?
Yeah.
Since I got cut off.
You were
Had
probably
10
on a roll
points.
too.
I
It
was.
really was. It was great.
I don't remember. Houston wins by no. Anyways, Houston's not going to win this game. Houston, Baltimore. Houston's got a rookie quarterback. I still think they have a pretty good running back in Dameon Pierce. I think I think there was a lot of hype around him last season, but he was kind of living up to the hype. Then he got injured. I don't know that we're going to have the same Dameon Pierce. He was on my radar for drafting, right, for my fantasy league, but then after a little research, man, I think he's going to digress a little bit, bro. Um, you can't say that it's going to be too much pressure on him because it was kind of the same way last year, right? Didn't really have a quarterback. But this year they have a rookie quarterback. They drafted high, and they're going to put a lot of emphasis in that. And they're going to want to toss the ball around a little bit more. I think that's going to hurt Dameon Pierce a little bit. Now, again, rookie quarterback, so you're going to have a lot of interceptions coming his way. I can see that in his near future. And playing a defense like Baltimore, I don't see you shining. Um, I think Houston will win a couple games, but I definitely think they'll be picking in the top 3 next season. So they need that number 1 receiver to match their who's the quarterback, C.J. Stroud or what's his name?
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough season for Houston, and I think they know that, and they are looking at it as a rebuild. They got a new coach; he's a good coach, but they are looking at this as a rebuild team. They brought in veterans like Robert Woods, who in the past, I loved that guy. I don't know that he's the Robert Woods, but you know what? That
Yeah,
guy was
he's
a
definitely
reception
over
guy.
30.
Yeah, but he was a reception guy, right? Like if you had him in your PPRs, because he caught a lot of passes, that might be good for him this season, man. And he's kind of like a sleeper for me that I've been thinking about because Stroud's going to dump off a lot, bro. He is, and Woods is going to run those underneath routes, and he's going to get those dumps off a lot. Him and the tight end. So we'll see. I do think it's going to hurt Pierce's numbers. They did bring in Singletary as well, so we'll see. And Mike Boone had an okay preseason. Uh, this team in itself is a weird team. They Noah Brown, ex Cowboys, not the best of it. They have 2 Cowboys. They're Brown and Schultz, by the way. Schultz is a good tight end, but and that may play points in a fantasy sense for C.J. Stroud. Long story short, because I'm going kind of long in the tooth here with Houston, they don't beat a team like Baltimore this week. The spread though, 10 points, that's out there. I don't know that Baltimore will kill them that bad. Really, it all depends how much they put the ball in C.J. Stroud's hands. Is he going to throw 4 or 5 picks? And yeah, 10-point spread is easily covered. But Lamar's coming out with a brand new contract. He just got paid. He wants to show the world that, hey, I told you I deserve this money. I got my money. Now I'm going to show you exactly why I got my money. So he comes out and he tears it up. Again, 10 points is kind of iffy wiffy. I think that's about where the lead will be, but we're not playing this for a push. Um, if we're going on just win loss, I say Baltimore wins. Spread wise, I think 10's a push. I don't know that they cover the spread, but I'm definitely going to go with a Baltimore win, and I say they win by exactly 10 points. So push on this one.
That's a crazy bet.
It is.
Bold assessment.
Well, if you really look at it, it's a bold assessment, but Houston's playing with a rookie quarterback, a sophomore running back, a Singletary who may even take over for the sophomore running back, receivers that are Nico Collins is a 50-50 speed guy. Robert Woods is old and under routes. Brown wasn't all that in Dallas, or he would have stayed there. Schulte's definitely a damn good tight end, with CJ Stroud will throw in. But Baltimore's defense's linebackers, they'll match up well to it. And the offense for Lamar Jackson and company is way better than Houston. So the 10-point spread is a stretch, yes. I'm going to go with a push and say 10 points, but it easily can go to a 14-point game.
There you go. I am. The Ravens are going to win this. They're a better team. Let's just get that out there. I think they'll cover the spread. I'm going to put the Ravens at 13.
The spread's 10. Shit.
Yeah, I think they'll win. And I think they'll beat that. Rookie quarterbacks. Baltimore's known to be defense. Lamar's going to come out. There's not enough weapons on all the Houston team to beat Lamar. So nope, not going to happen. Quick one.
Well, if you look at Baltimore's depth chart, I mean, Lamar Jackson, period, right? Dobbins is a great running back if he can stay healthy, bro. Not healthy, but healthy, he's something. Now, will it be committee? Most definitely. You've got Edwards still, who's not a bad running back. Justice Hill, who is kind of unknown in a large sense, but definitely an okay running back. Wide receivers, though, Bateman.
And they had Melvin Gordon, right? They got Beckham.
I want to say Bateman's a 50-50 guy, isn't he?
He's young too, so that's the other problem. They got Aguilar, who's definitely a 50-50 guy.
They got Odell. Come on, OBJ, baby.
I think Odell will have a decent year.
Hey, they got Zay Flowers too. So Zay Flowers, he was a prior Jet, correct? I'm correct, Zay Flowers.
I think so. I don't.
Yeah, Mark Andrews. We'll see, man. Either way, if you match this roster up, fantasy value to fantasy value, you're taking the Baltimore roster hands down.
Correct.
Other than Damien, right? So I think Baltimore.
I mean,
will
except
win.
for Schulte. Schulte's there.
Yeah, but you know what, man? Look, Schulte to me, Cowboys is a tight end friendly offense, bro. It's schemes a thing, right? And any offense.
I was just joking.
I got you. But if in any offense, if you're choosing the best offense for tight ends, obviously you're going Kansas City, right? But it is scheme play, right? And tight ends play into certain schemes, and some teams just look, man. You take it till they can take it away from you. Do they ever take away Kels? No.
Yeah, this is the guy that I think is going to be a good player for the Texans, and it's Nico Collins.
He's a speedster, bro. He's inaccurate. Maybe we'll see, man.
Yeah.
Look,
at this point, it's how do the quarterback and wide receivers sync up, right? So you just never know. But I think
inconsistency.
Yeah, but that's also young or inconsistent, you know. Yeah. So.
But in this game, Baltimore and who the hell's playing?
Baltimore and the Texans.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson has a lot to he has to go out and show he's worth the money, and he will. He's going to go swing it out and say, I'm the man, right? And that's what's going to happen. And Odell's got a lot to prove, too. And there's a lot of pieces on this team. You got Dobbins, who's been hurt so much. And there's so many pieces with so much potential on this team.
Yeah.
And this is the team to play against to kind of give you the sense that, oh, my God. Now, I don't remember what we ranked Baltimore at, but I don't believe I ranked them super high in that division. I'll tell you what, though, man, they will win this game. They're in a division with Cincinnati, Cleveland, and Pittsburgh. I think we ranked them second and third. But anyways, Baltimore.
Well, but the issue is that the Texans we universally ranked last. So.
Well, Baltimore pushes with 10 points. You said 13, so you're covering the spread, huh?
Yeah, I'm covering the spread.
That's ballsy. I mean, honestly, if the spread were 14 points, I'd take Houston to win as far as spread wise.
Well, that's
game.
I mean, 10 is hard to cover, so don't get me wrong. But I think, like you said, there's too many home run pieces on the Ravens, and I think Beckham's back the perfect amount of time. Like he needed that extra year off.
I think the thing we're not looking at is that their coach is a defensive guy, right? So we're not looking at the Houston defense thinking, we're just looking at the offense. That defense is going to be okay too. Man.
It's a plucky defense. I mean, it was a
It
plucky
is.
defense last year.
So we'll see, man. They hold again 10 push. I think they hold that spread. I don't think they lose by 2 touchdowns, but definitely by exactly a touchdown and a field goal.
That will be an amazing. If you're right, that's definitely a kudo right there. So I hope you're right.
There you go.
The game of the week for me is the Jags going to Indianapolis to play the defending AFC. Oh, that's not right. The Colts.
Oh God, are we gonna do that again?
That's a
No.
5-point spread.
And this is a division game, right?
This is a division game.
So I know how much you love your Colts. I can't believe it. Were you doing was last season reverse psychology? Like the Colts are going to be the best, and then they stunk it up. Was that like what you were trying to do?
I thought Jonathan. Yeah, that's it. No, they had a great offensive line 3 years ago. I didn't think it would erode. Jonathan Taylor was a beast. Matt Ryan, I didn't think his arm had flown off on the flight from Atlanta. Like they had some weapons. Their defense was really good. They got a lot of injuries, but they didn't do it. Like Matt Ryan was a complete disaster.
We just got a call on line one. It was every team in the NFL hoping you don't say they're the best team this year.
Correct.
Because you totally jinxed the Colts.
Correct.
I mean, you were all about the Colts, and they just.
So this year's the Jets.
Season.
I say the Jets
God.
are it.
Hold on. My phone's going to ring right now. Uncle Rico's going to go stab you in the face. Are you trying to break Uncle Rico's heart? Poor guy. You know he's going big on those Jets again, right?
They
do. Have, in his words, they have Aaron Rodgers. Aaron is how you say it in Spanish. So they have Aaron in his eyes. So he's big on the Jets again, bro.
So
and if they shit the bed, I'm telling you it's your fault.
I honestly think they're gonna have a great year, but we'll see.
You said about the Colts.
I've been wrong before. An identical situation, right? New quarterback, new team, yeah.
This game, again, I'm going to start off with your boy Sunshine. I'm big on him. I drafted him in a draft that we're in together, and I thought I had buyer's remorse only because I felt like I should have waited 3 more rounds.
Yes.
But I have this gut feeling, and sometimes my gut is great at fantasy football. I do win at fantasy football a lot. Believe it or not, I do. You've seen it. I do have a good run at fantasy football. I have a gut feeling that your boy Sunshine is going to have a career season 1. 2, going to be mentioned in that top 3 elite tier. Not the top tier Patrick Mahomes, but right under where we have
Allen.
Old boy from Cincinnati, and Allen,
Yeah.
Allen, Burrow, and Allen. I think he's going to step it up. He's going to end up in that top tier, man. He is going to have a season. Now, I'm not just saying that to say that. They brought in weapons for this kid, right? They didn't. It's not just same team. Let's go make it happen. I mean, Calvin Ridley. I'm saying it right here. Calvin Ridley, 1,000+ season, 1,000+ yard season. Calvin Ridley's been chilling for a while, and he didn't waste time just chilling, getting fat, man.
Calvin Ridley puts $1,000 at your right.
Calvin Ridley's betting that the Jaguars are going to the Super Bowl, so I got to follow that guy. So Calvin Ridley is going to come out and have a career season. One, because he's a big weapon for Trevor Lawrence. He really is. Trevor Lawrence is going to take complete advantage of that, bro. They've got Etienne. I like Tank Bigsby. I think that mid-season, Etienne is going to lose some reps to Tank Bigsby. You wait and see.
I already know that. Yeah.
He's a bigger, more physical guy. They have another back there in Ernest Johnson from Cleveland, who is
a great back, I thought.
Big back.
Yeah.
Hasty isn't bad either. So, man, you've got some stuff there, really. Etienne, though, I mean, you give him a lane, he's gone. He's just
he's free. He's that home run freakishly fast back.
Correct. But Bigsby, he's going to take some stuff away from now. Lawrence career season, I really think they're going to do great. Calvin Ridley, Kirk Christian, Zay Jones. I mean, you've got some weapons, bro. This team is loaded. Evan Ingram. You can go on and on and on and on. I'm really excited about this team. I really am. I think they're going to do well. They're my every season I root for somebody. Last year it was the Jets with Uncle Rico. What a dumbass I was. He was. He's the one betting money on it.
Correct. You were just emotionally vested.
Correct. My number 2 team to follow this year is definitely the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm really rooting for them. I think they're going to do well. Let's hope we don't get the Wardy curse on there, and I just curse your team into being a disaster, but they're not, man. They're really going to have a great season. Now, against this team, the Colts. The Colts have a rookie quarterback, Anthony Richardson, who, quite honestly, man, didn't look too bad in preseason, bro. He looked pretty good, and if he doesn't, you got Mustache over there and Minshew. But for this game, I believe Richardson is starting, correct?
Yeah, sure. I mean,
Now,
they don't let us know those kind of things. So
we're assuming Zach Moss is your starting running back because, Taylor is on the PUP.
yep. Which,
Uh,
hey, good for that. Like that's good news.
Receiver, a lot of people ignored this season, Pittman.
Yep.
And I know why they did it because rookie quarterback, but man, that guy's not bad at
No,
all.
he's not.
I did draft him in a couple, ignored because of Anthony Richardson, but this team could be deceivingly good. I really do think so. I think they're missing that Taylor aspect. If Taylor ends up playing for this team, watch out, man, because Richardson needs that, right? He's gonna dump off, but he needs that number one physical type of running back that can really carry a team, and Taylor can do that to kind of take off a lot of the pressure that Richardson's gonna have. But this kid's not bad, bro, and I think he's gonna have an okay season. Now, unfortunately for him, they open up against the Jaguars and my boy Sunshine. I don't see the win here. What's the spread on this one?
5 points, Jags.
I definitely think Jaguars cover here. I do think they win. I'll just go with a 7-point win. I mean, I don't. Well, no, honestly, I think they're gonna have a pretty good. I think. Look, the Colts defense isn't bad. They got DeForest Buckner and a few other guys. They're gonna be pretty good. They don't have a bad defensive team, but man, Sunshine really has it's his debut, bro. This is where he's gonna say, hey, look, I'm gonna be an elite quarterback this season. I'm gonna come out. I'm gonna tear the Colts up. And I'm gonna throw for 400 yards and 5 touchdowns, so Ripper wins his fantasy league week 1, and it's gonna be great. Colts by 14. Ooh, I mean Colts Jaguars.
I was like, that's a change.
Sunshine and the Jags by 14. You heard it here first.
So being a super fan, the problem, the things that scare the bejesus out of me are we have a rookie tackle starting. Cam Robinson's on the suspended list. The offensive line hasn't been great. He still got 4,000 yards, but it hasn't been great. And I think rushing the passer and stopping them from rushing our passer have been problems. You can have as many great wide receivers as you want, but if your quarterback's laying on his back, it doesn't matter. Those are the concerns I had this year for this team. The rest of the team is it's there, and if those again, the first round tackle pans out, Cam Robinson comes back in 4 games and hasn't eaten himself out of football, that might not be a problem. And at the pass rush, again, we got Walker last year. If he turns it on, if Allen turns it on, if some of the edge rushers turn it on and they can rush the passer, we can have a great season. I don't think the line on either side is going to stop this game. No Jonathan Taylor, rookie quarterback. This should be, and again, Sunshine going, I'm really the man. This should be these are the games you got to win. As far as 5, I think they win by 7. I hope they win by like 35, but I'm going to put 7, which is still above the line.
Nice. Sounds like you don't think they're going to go. Or what's the cover 5? Yeah, they'll cover the spread.
Yeah, they'll cover the spread. All righty. We got another team coming up here. The Titans at the Saints.
Titans at the Saints. Let me pull up the depth charts here just because. My wife want to know what we're doing for dinner right now.
What are we doing for dinner? Real quick chat.
I have no idea.
Hey, everybody. How you guys doing? Thank you, Dr. Good Vibes. Thank you, Censored Harley. Thank you, as always.
You're so very welcome.
All right, Titans at the Saints. Now, Titans, obviously, the quarterback is the same, Tannehill, which I'm not very big on, but they still got D. Henry, which you heard me say this before in the shows before the season started.
The wheels are falling off.
Yeah, I do think this is the season where you start showing the wear and tear. Big back, man, taking a lot of hits. Now, again, I'm not saying he's going to have a disastrous season, but he's going to look like every other average running back out there, right? Like he's not going to have no 2,000-yard season. I can guarantee you that. Not just because he's downgrading or going downhill, which he is, but you've got D Hops now, right? Traylon Burks is uh, Westbrook, whatever it is, that's a rookie, right?
Yes.
I'm not sure.
I mean, but he's got D hops, which
Correct.
I mean, he had a. It's not like Tannehill's a downgrade from the diminutive one or whomever the third string quarterback was for Arizona.
Colt McCoy.
Yeah,
And then whoever was after.
you're correct.
And you're right, and that's what I mean, though, right? So the options for passes are a little bit better this year. D Hops is still going to get open. He's still going to get his. He did well in Arizona when he played. I do think Derrick Henry is starting to downgrade a little bit. Look, man, he was out there. I think they even were taking offers for him, weren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing came that they liked anyway.
Well, no one was going to try. I mean, who wants a
Well,
giant back that's 30 years old that has got a huge cap hit?
Correct.
Jerry was out of the office that day.
Yeah, really. Thank God. He's old. He's going downhill. He's not going to have the kind of season you think he's going to have. I don't see, without King Henry, I don't see them being the kind of team that everybody thinks that they can be. Anyways, he's old. He's going to go downhill, and that's what's going to happen here. Now, it's on the flip side of that. Anyways, I don't believe in Tannehill, and you've known that. I've said enough of that throughout the whole shows. Tannehill ain't that. On the other side, you got not a new quarterback to the league, but new quarterback to the team with Derek Carr coming over from the Raiders. Jamal Williams came over because Kamara suspended, but Jamal Williams came from Detroit. We're talking about that back that can move and be a big back. A receiver that I love and tried to get in every league I was in, which is Chris Olave, whatever his name is. I think he's in for a huge season. I think that really honestly worked. That's going to be Carr's go-to man. That's your D Hops, your what's his name that he had over in Raiders?
Devontae Adams.
Devontae Adams. This kid is going to be great. You've got Michael Thomas, who will be good for about a game and a half and then be out for the season.
Well, but not even last year. He wasn't. That's normally the case. He's hurt, comes back and he's great. He's starting to show signs of slowing down.
Well, I mean, he's been in the league for 10 years and played 2 full seasons. I don't know how long. You know what I mean, though. He's always.
But they're like dog years.
Yeah. Rahid Shaheed, I have nothing about. We'll see. Either way, this team, and you have other guys on there that are. I can't even believe Jimmy Graham is back on this team. I just saw that on their depth chart. I'm like, wow, that guy's still in the league. Okay.
Oh, I thought he retired.
Apparently not. Juwan Johnson, Foster Moreau, and Jimmy Graham. Not a bad tight end.
It sure sounds like Jimmy Graham Jr. Like he had a kid, he grew up, he got in the NFL.
Really? Either way, I think New Orleans is going to come out swinging. They're going to come out big. I think New Orleans' defense is underrated and is going to show up huge also. I know I've been a little long tooth in a few of these. I don't like Tennessee's situation without King Henry, and I think New Orleans comes and win this one. What's the spread on this?
The spread is up high. It is a 3-point spread with the Titans being underdogs.
Oh, wow. I think New Orleans wins this one and covers the spread. Easily. 7+ win. New Orleans. Da Saints.
So the way you feel about the Titans, I feel the same way about the Saints. They are an aging football team that doesn't have Sean Payton anymore, and they've got another quarterback that's not Drew Brees, that's not going to do well. Carr's he's had opportunity after opportunity after opportunity, and he's shown that he's the same 35. He's like who's our boy in Minnesota? He's like a Derek Cousins or Kirk Cousins 0.50. So he's like where Cousins will get you 4,000 yards, Carr gets you 3,500 yards.
Just compare him to David Carr.
Well, except he's not quite as gun shy. So,
or as fat.
Correct. You don't have Kamara, Jamal Williams. Let's face it, I drafted him because he's got 4 weeks as the undisputed back. He had 17 touchdowns. That's why he was fantasy relevant. I don't think he got 1,000 yards too. I don't think he'll have that kind of production in New Orleans. This is one the Titans can steal, and I actually think D Hops and is gonna get is gonna get. I just don't see anyone on the Saints as good. The Titans are a proud team. They're well coached. I think they come in here and they make Carr look stupid. I just do. As much as and maybe this is a reverse curse because I hate the Titans. But I think they cover. I think the Titans win. I'm gonna say Titans by 3.
Ooh. We're definitely on two different ends of the spectrum here. I think you're wrong about Adrian. Maybe on defense, but offensively, New Orleans Saints look good to me. Hey, look, if all else fails, you got Mr. 2030 vision in there. Jameis Winston,
Oh,
cataracts removed and LASIK surgery later.
could be. Maybe they get him off and dust him off and get him in.
Saints.
That. I'm not even gonna say it. So no. Okay. Next up, we got the Little Peoples and the Commanders.
Why? Why are you gonna be rude like that?
Man, we're gonna have to speed this one up. We're gonna be here till midnight. All right, so Arizona, Washington. Arizona doesn't have a lot going for them, in my opinion.
It was
On the-
7-point spread.
They're the favorites.
Nope.
I hate to tell you that that's because the Commanders aren't very good, not because you are. So
No. Arizona is the underdog to the Commanders, which is why I said, "What the fuck, my guy."
yeah.
So who start?
Hey, no
whoa,
F-bombs!
whoa! Look, if anyone's gonna drop an F-bomb,
Yeah.
it's gonna be me or Wardy's kid in the
Wardy's
background.
kid in the background, correct.
So, without little people, they've got Dobbs. Now, here's a name on this roster that I've been hearing a lot and reading a lot about. Clayton Tune. I don't know a lot about this guy, but for some reason, people think he's like the next, big quarterback coming, and he'll eventually end up starting for the Arizona Cardinals. Maybe not week 1, but Dobbs to me isn't the epitome of a great quarterback. Neither was Murray for that fact. So let's start with that.
What if you put Murray on top of Dobbs, or Dobbs on top of Murray, like
then they'll make a 6-2 quarterback.
Correct.
But starting with that, the quarterback situation for Arizona is not great. The receiving to me is not great either, right? They still have 50-50 boy Marquise Brown. They lost D-Hops. They got Rondale Moore and Greg Dortch. None of that spells like, ooh, fantasy relevant to me, right? Or great. Just not looking at it, right? Zach Ertz at tight end, okay, fine, but where has he been lately?
He's been, a little longer.
This team just looks horrible on paper. They look horrible on paper. Then you go across the board. Washington. Sam Howell didn't do too bad towards the end of the season, anyways. You have Jacoby Brisket sitting in the shadows over there also. Running back wise,
you got Glutis Maximus.
I was gonna say Mr. Shot in the buttocks. Brian Robinson. You got Antonio Gibson. Not a bad combination right there. Receiver wise, Terry McLaurin, however you want to say, great one. Dodson is too, man. Curtis Samuel is a journeyman, but not a bad receiver. Logan Thomas, great tight end. I just like the Commanders roster a lot better in this game, anyways, compared to the Cardinals. What's the spread on this? 7-point underdog for the Cardinals. I definitely think the Commandos cover. I could see them winning by 7 points easily. So I'm going to go with the Commanders by 7, just based on the better roster. Again, when all this fails, use your fantasy relevance factor, right? And they just have a better fantasy relevance, way better actually. They've got at least, in my opinion, at least 2 to 3 on there that I would say, okay, not bad. I wouldn't mind having it on my roster. The Commandos.
Yeah, the Commanders are a far better team overall, right? We've talked about the fantasy relevance. You've got multiple players at a position. The Cardinals really don't, and they don't even have the one they think is a superstar that I don't, and Murray. So, and Colt McCoy I don't trust.
Who's gone?
So, Well, and the problem with the Commanders is I don't think Howell's that great either. So I think it'll be enough in a team effort that they'll win this, and I think they'll cover the spread. So I will do. So the Commanders have to win by do Commanders by 10.
Wow. Nice. They cut Colt McCoy.
Oh man.
He gone. I know he's from Texas. I like that guy. He's gone though.
Who do you
I don't
have?
think he's even picked up.
How do you have? Well, he shouldn't have been.
Commandos by 7.
So is that a push again?
Yeah.
It's hard to type.
Another push.
Hard to type and do the show at the same time.
I'm all about the push today.
You are.
I like it.
What are you typing?
I had to type in the spread so we have it.
Love letters.
Yeah, I don't want to go back through the recording and be like, when did Ripper decide to, in his soliloquy, to say that we have this?
Sorry. I'm trying to cut it down a little bit. So we're not here till midnight. We only have 82 more games to go.
Correct. It is the full slate of opening weekend games. Next, we've got the Raiders at the Broncos.
Ooh. Well, another division game, AFC West.
In Mile High.
Yeah, well. All right. I like pulling up the depth charts just so we can do a little fantasy relevance here. So the Raiders got Garoppolo from San Fran. You know, the kid who gets no love. Honestly, look, man, I think this is Garoppolo's season to show something, right? Like, is he worth the hype? Is he worth the money? He didn't start off too bad with San Fran, and then, injuries got him, which kind of seems to be the story with this kid, isn't it?
Yeah, he's a winner who gets hurt.
Like, hey, I got you one game, and then I'm going to break a toe.
I got into the Super Bowl one year.
Look, let's start off with the elephant in the room where Wardy got all pissed off at me at fantasy draft this last week. Josh Jacobs. I took him.
Oh,
Wardy got mad.
No, I didn't get mad. It was great. It was a great pick. I couldn't believe he was So basically, we were serpentine. So I was like first and then last, right? So you go all the first round, which ours was a keeper league. So a lot of people kept their first their superstar, right? So you had a couple people draft, but then all of the second part of the first half of the second one, no one was picking Jacob, and it got all the way down to you, which was either right before me or two before me.
Before you.
And Jacobs is there, and I'm like, I can't believe, because to me he's again, I get the starting
top 5
part.
running back, easy top 5 running back.
Yeah, exactly. So I was just like, well, how is he still around? And then you picked him, and I was like,
I think you and I were probably saying the same thing. Why is he still up?
Correct, exactly. So it wasn't that you took him; it was that no one else did. I was like, "That's amazing."
No, sir. I should have screenshot. I believe there was an FU ripper.
There was.
Yeah.
But then then you didn't take my defense, so it was all better.
Oh, I was already being, I was saying, can't be that. I thought about it though, and your kicker. Anyways,
and I reminded you about the Bills running back, so you took that later on. Thank you.
Thank you.
My own fault.
So Garoppolo, again, something to prove, right? Brian Hoyer in the background isn't going to be much if he ends up being a starter. We'll see Josh Jacobs run the ball. They still have Javonte Adams, right? Who's mad that Carr's no longer there, but I think he'll be okay. They brought in Myers from New England, who, ironic that he's there considering he cost New England a game against the Raiders, and then they shipped his ass there. Funny as hell. If you ask me, that sounds like a Belichick move all over the place, right?
Yes.
Hunter Renfro, who was a speedster, but we'll see. They got a good tight end, Austin Hooper. They lost Waller. Hooper, I like Waller better than Hooper, but not a bad replacement.
Yeah,
they're not a bad team, bro. They last year they lost a lot of games by like 2-3 points, right? Like they were losing everything in the fourth quarter, and it wasn't by a lot. Now, different quarterback, obviously. We'll see. Garoppolo had to cross the bay, as you say, right? We'll see how he does and whether he does better. But against the Denver Broncos now. Let's talk about the Broncos before I tell you my choice. I am not a Russell Wilson fan. I think he should have been in the Sweet Pickles retirement bus last year. I think I said that every single week. I still don't believe him.
You
New
did.
coach or not, I think Sean Payton's like, all right, let's get him out there. The whole offensive line is going to take a timeout, but we're not calling timeout. Y'all just going to get water, and the D line is going to kill Russell Wilson, and then we'll start playing the backup, right?
Yes.
Stidham. I think Jared Stidham ends up being the starter of this team midseason somewhere. And I think Stidham's not going to do too bad at all. Russell, however, should have retired, in my opinion. I'm going to stick to my guns on he should have retired. I think he's going to stink it up, and Peyton's going to be like, look, I didn't come over here for this. Russell, get on the bus, baby. Put a headset on, and you're going to help me coach from here on out. The running back, however, look, Javonte Williams isn't what everyone thinks it's going to be, and they brought Perini, however you say his name, Sam J over for a reason. When he filled in Cleveland, in Cincinnati, he did very well. And I think that's the case here. This team is loaded with good pieces, man. Judy and Sutton, they've got good pieces. Russell Wilson just made them look bad. Man, they lost games last season that looked like baseball scores because the defense was phenomenal, but Russell Wilson was not. I told you, man, they were going to Full Metal Jacket the tower.
Attention Alien Army, we do have a raid incoming. I repeat, a raid incoming.
4-point favorite to Denver. Thank you for the raid.
4-point favorite to Denver. Wow.
So just so I'm clear, you're saying that the Broncos are favored by 4 points over the Raiders.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Raiders on this one.
Ah.
The Raiders win this one. 4-point favorite. The Broncos, huh? I think the Raiders win this one by let's give them a touchdown. 7-point win for the Raiders on this one. The Raiders.
All right. So
I mean, it's on multiple sites. I don't know.
Jimmy G is a winner. Let's go throw that out there. That's what his perchant is. I still think that the Raiders' offensive line is not a good offensive line. Their defense isn't great, and they're probably going to get Jimmy killed, which is what happens to Jimmy. I do believe in Sean Payton. I think it's a massive upgrade over our old coach, who was bad to begin with, and really only did well as the Green Bay offensive coordinator. Denver's got the number one defense. You named all the weapons they have. Russell just needs to get his head out of his rear end. Right? That's the difference. Like, and you're right. They were I think going to give him a soap shower, like a Full Metal Jacket, somewhere in the middle of the season. But I think coaching does a bunch. I think Peyton is a good coach, and I think if again, you might be right. Maybe it's time for Wilson to be on the Sweet Pickles retirement bus. But if anybody can get him out of it, it's Peyton. I say with them, so the Broncos are up. I'm gonna go Broncos by 5. Or what? That's the spread, right? Broncos by 7.
Wow, I went the
It's
other way.
4, but
I'll tell you what, though. Sean Payton didn't come over there because of Russell Wilson, homie. He went over there because he wants to work with Stidham.
I don't care who the quarterback is. And maybe that's what it shows. Again, I think he's got a big cap hit, and they're going to try to do something with him. If they can't, he'll pull the plug.
What can you do with Russell Wilson? He cost Denver millions of picks. Ain't nobody going to come over here and, hey, let me give you a number one for Russell. Ain't
no.
making that
I mean,
mistake.
I think they're going to play him, and I think they're going to try to get him back. I mean, gosh, 2 years ago, man, he was an MVP candidate. Like, it wasn't that long ago,
Get old.
And sometimes relationships get broken. Pete Carroll, maybe that ship sailed and he soured on him, and maybe he was, a petulant child. It doesn't matter. I think Peyton came. I know that in the job interview, there was some conversation around Russell Wilson. I mean, the Broncos are too vested to just cut bait with him. So I'm sure he was like, this is what I think I can do to make him better. And obviously the ownership was like, sure. And even last year, I mean, he threw for 3,500 yards. I mean, yeah, he had 11 picks. He wasn't Russell Wilson of old, but that's not, I mean, it's not great, not terrible.
Look
So,
here, bro. Here
new
was
coach,
the conversation.
Hackett, Peyton.
Here's the conversation they had. Look, Russell, we gave up a lot for you. Right? We let you play out a season. We saw how it worked out. Didn't work out. We went and drafted Stidham. Yes, he's the same age as you, but we think he can really do well in the NFL. Sean Payton likes him. So here's how this is going to roll out. We're going to fake an ankle injury week 1 so that you can save face and you say you retire your injury, but you can put a headset on, stick around, and train Stidham because, hey, you owe the Broncos. Thanks, Russell. That's how the conversation went.
Maybe.
We'll see. Stidham is kind of old, though. I don't know if he's as old as Russell, but, he only played in college for 9 years. How old is Stidham? Now I want to know.
We don't have our analysts, so
27 years old. He is 27 years old and a rookie in the NFL. That's pretty old for an NFL rookie.
that's like Winky territory there.
He's getting, yeah. I mean, how old is Russell? 40?
Sure. I don't think he's 40 yet.
34. 7-year difference. Well, in football years, Russell's 50 now. So
Correct. Well, he was a running guy, so yeah.
we'll see. Anyways, I've got who did I say was going to win? The Raiders? The Raiders by 7. Is that right?
You have the Raiders by 7. I've got the Broncos by 7.
Next up.
Fly Eagle Fly versus the Pats.
Oh, my. I'll go short on this one. Belichick team, yes. Quarterback situation, big question mark. They brought over Juju. Probably do pretty well as a receiver there, being he's the number 1, but pretty well with the quarterback they have. Isn't saying a lot. Philadelphia loaded. Just loaded. They are, for me, they win the NFC East. I already said that, but they are loaded. And I think they will do extremely well this season. I think they started by beating the bricks off New England Patriots. The Patriots just don't have the team to fight this team.
4-point spread for Philly.
Dude, Philly's going to win this one by like 10 points plus.
Okay,
Philly by 10.
If you're Bill Belichick, right? Famous for stopping one guy on this team. Who is it?
Obviously hurts.
So you're just going to let Sanders and everybody else beat you?
Exactly. There's too much. He's got to scheme who to beat, right?
Yeah.
You can't scheme it all. And
Correct.
Belichick is a great coach, yes. But you can't scheme it all. And you're right. Like, if you stop Hurts, then you're going to get hurt, pun intended, by the running backs. And if you stop the running backs, then you're going to get hurt by Hurts. So, toughy.
Well, and even I think his play is going to be keeping Hurts in the pocket. And even then, I think those wide receivers are going to get you. Like, I don't believe in Hurts as a passer, but I believe in Hurts as a passer against the Patriots.
Hurts' range as a running back that throws the ball only needs to be 20, 30 yards.
Correct.
So, and he's got some good receivers. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Quez Watkins. They have a good tight end. I mean, the team's loaded.
Well, and the defense is good as well. Do you think
Philadelphia's making another run at the Super Bowl?
Do you think Mac Jones is going to bounce back?
Please. Look, Belichick's good at finding quarterbacks. Let's be honest about that. I think Mac Jones, you can't expect him to have a Brady-esque season, right? Like right off the bat, I'm great. He's going to get there, yes. I do believe he'll get better this season. I just don't think this is the team we're going to see it against. Philadelphia's loaded, bro. Defensively, offensively, they're just a great team. Ask Stidham, half his team is playing for this team in defensive. It's a great team, bro. It just is. It's a very good team. I don't think Mac Jones does phenomenal against this team. It's just a bit much. And the offense for Philadelphia will hold the ball so long that the game clock will just disappear. Mac Jones won't have a lot to do. So Philly by, what was this? Like 10 points?
It's a 4-point spread. Philly by 10? Wow.
Philly by 10. Look, man, eventually Belichick also will fade away, just like all the other great coaches.
Well, and you see, whatchamacallit always talks about him, Colin Hurd, always talks about, what has Belichick done? And early on, I thought, because there was he went to Cleveland and he got like 10 or 11 wins. I think he got to the playoffs one year with whomever they had as, the place where quarterbacks go to die. And and then he had Brady, and that's it's him and Brady, and then Brady left, and Brady won a Super Bowl. He didn't, and yeah, they talk about the 1 year that Brady got the ACL injury in the first quarter of the first game, and he had Matt Castle went 11-5, but they missed the playoffs that year, and that team was stacked, that was a loaded team. So I think if you get a Tom Brady to captain your team for the next 20 years, are you a pretty good coach? I think the answer is yes. And it's really, at this point, when you look at a guy like Reed, who's done it with multiple teams and gone to multiple championships and Super Bowls, he's the number one. It's not Belichick anymore. That's my take. For this one, simple, sweet. The Pats don't have the firepower. I also will match your 10. Eagles by 10.
There you go.
And we are halfway through now with your boys and the Giants.
The Giants. NFC East game, baby. These are always going to be shootouts. The NFC game.
Well, only if Michael
are,
Irvin's still on your team.
Rarely blowouts, to be honest. On one side of the ball, Daniel Jones, Barkley. Their receiving core for New York is kind of questionable. They did bring in Darren Waller, great tight end. The team's not bad on paper, right? On the other side, Cowboys. Dakota, look, man, it's all. I'll just say it out straight. Tony Pollard, will he have an okay season? Yes, but he's not going to be the number one back that's going to have 300 carries. He's going to running back by committee. I guarantee you. With
little guy.
And I said no. I've been saying this. It's Rico that you're going to see more than you're going to see Deuce Vaughn, bro. Rico is the better running back. Deuce Vaughn. Deuce Vaughn is a specialty back, right? You throw him in there for change of pace. He bounces around, freaks you out, and then you hit him again. Rico is the back you're going to see in the red zone. Rico is the back that he's taking over for the Ezekiel Elliott position last year, where it was all red zone play for him, right? That's what Rico's going to do. They ain't putting Deuce Vaughn in the red zone to pound the ball into the end zone. Tony Pollard's not built like that either, bro. So all this, and they do have Ronald Jones, who's suspended right now, but eventually will come back. So all this of Deuce Vaughn may even end up active every week soon. As soon as Ronald Jones comes back, we'll see. But Tony Pollard will get his carries. I think he'll be about 150 carries. I don't think you're going to see this big amount of carries for him. He is not that back, bro. So, Dakota. It all depends on what Dakota shows up, bro. I don't have a lot of confidence in him. I don't think he's going to do very well. I think that all depends on how they call this game, right? They did lose Kellen Moore. We'll see what the new OC does and how he calls, or old OC if you want. The head coach is calling the plays now, correct? We'll see how the playbook goes and how they. If Dakota's put in the place where he has to win games, we're in trouble. If they manage his games, I think we'll be all right. If he's throwing, a higher percentage throw than a riskier throw, we might be okay. If you're looking at Dakota to put it between double coverage, we're in trouble. Tony Pollard will shine, but not like everybody. He's not this number. He wasn't a top 3 back. He's not going to be a top 3 back. Everybody, I said I would not draft him, and I stayed to my guns. Did I draft Tony Pollard? I did not. I had opportunity, but I did not. The only Cowboys I really went for was Cooks, because I think he's going to be the recipient of a lot of stuff, because everybody's going to double team CeeDee Lamb, and Dak will find Cooks on those under routes. Although he's not that under route guy, but in open space with the speed he has, he's going to do well. That's really all I went with, and the defense and the kicking team, because I think the key defense is key to this whole thing. All that said, long-winded. I know it's the Cowboys. I'll get over it. I do think they win this game. Why? Because I think the Giants suck too.
Do you think they'll win by more than 3.5 points?
Yes. I think they'll win by at least a touchdown. It's not going to be a blowout game. It's going to be a shootout. And I think that they'll win it in the fourth quarter by a touchdown. Probably a little screen pass to Tony Pollard, his specialty, and he takes off for 50 yards. But it's going to be a game. Shaquan Barkley is in a little bit of trouble here, man. I think Dallas Cowboys' run defense is going to be phenomenal this season. I think it's underrated right now, but they're going to see some damage. The defense will create a lot of damage this season. They have a lot of great pieces to it, and I think that's what's going to keep Dallas in a lot of games. We're kind of going to be in the same situation as Denver last year, where everybody wants to give Dakota a soap bath. But I do think Dallas wins this one, and they do.
Chad is not a fan, so.
I am a Cowboy fan, by the way. I love the Cowboys. I have been a Cowboy fan for life, period. But I do not believe in Dakota. I don't think he's the quarterback. Like I said, he's the Scooby-Doo version of, hey, I took my hat off and it's Tony Romo. So I guess we'll see. But Cowboys do win this one.
I don't believe in Daniel Jones. I mean, last year the formula was play good defense and then run Daniel Jones and run Saquon and run everybody, right? And then occasionally look like you're going to run and throw the ball. I didn't feel they were a good team last year, and they hung around and were a mediocre team. I feel the same way. Daniel Jones isn't going to get you. He's not going to win. I think the Cowboys win by 10. But I'm going to put 7 on the board to match you. The Cowboys defense is too good. This isn't the kind of game that Dakota gets you beat, right? This just isn't one of those games. It is a divisional game, which is why I'm not thinking you guys are going to pound the tar out of them. You guys know each other. You're proud. But Cowboys by 7.
There you go. The boys.
Next up, we got the Panthers and the Falcons.
I'm gonna put out the depth chart. I have some news about the Falcons. Hold on.
That they're 13-3.
This is an NFC South game. Start with that. I mean, these division games are always something, man. Some divisions, right? Some divisions just trash. But some divisions, like the NFC East, any NFC East inter-division games are usually pretty good games to watch. They're always shootouts. But this game, NFC South is kind of like one of those. I think we have. Let's start off with the running back situation in Atlanta. Everybody was big on Robinson. Again, is he a good back? Yes. I honestly, and you're going to hear it here first, I don't think he was the best back in Texas. I don't. There was Rashawn Johnson, I believe that's how you say his first name, who is a really good back. He is with, oh my God, I just picked him up. Who's he with in NFL? I don't know. I wish we had Calvin Ridley here. I can tell you right now, though. Hold on. Johnson is with Chicago. I think eventually, that Bears. Eventually, you're going to see him as the lead back in that squad. Definitely committee, and eventually he will take over all the reps. I think he was the better back in Texas. You'll hear his name, big back. Everybody was so big on Robinson, I just wasn't. I think that Atlanta. I was surprised that they even drafted him, considering Algier had a really good season, a rookie season.
Which is why I didn't think they'll do this good this year. There's only so many times you can hand the ball off.
Correct. And it's still committee. They're not just going to say, oh, Algier, you're not going to get any carries. He did really well last season. Mm-hmm. He's going to get a share of carries. They're looking at like a thunder and lightning combination. It is committee. Trust me on that one.
Yeah, but those are more like those are more like thunder and thunder or lightning and lightning. Bowling ball and bowling ball.
Still 1-2 punch. Still going to be committee. I guarantee. We'll see it. And you still have Cordell there, man. Patterson, who's still going to demand some carries. Then you've got Drake London, great receiver. Matt Collins, not bad. Scotty Miller, right? The only big question here with Atlanta is the quarterback, Desmond Ridder. Who's he throwing to? I mean, I'm not sure why they didn't. I don't think they needed Robinson. I think Atlanta should have addressed a quarterback situation, to be honest. They decided to go running back. It is what it is. I think Algier is just as good as Robinson. But that's their deal. I think one of them might end up getting traded down the road. Who knows? In this game, they're playing Carolina Panthers. Carolina Panthers rookie quarterback, right? Bryce Young.
Yep.
They brought Miles in, who's not a bad running back. Chuba Hubbard behind him, not bad either. Their receiving core, to me, is a little iffy. You know, they got Adam Thielen as their one.
DJ
DJ
Shark.
Shark. I know how much you love him. And Jonathan Mingo, man, that's an interesting name there. I've done a little research on him. He is a big receiver. They're comparing him to the guy from Seattle. Big
DK
boy,
Metcalf.
what's his name? Yes, there you go. That could be interesting for him. But again, Bryce Young, rookie receiver. We'll see how well that goes. This game, I think, I really don't know how to call it in one way or another. I think they're evenly matched on paper. You use the fantasy relevance, and you can say Robinson, everybody drafted like top 5 running back, which is nuts. For a rookie, I just don't see. The last rookie that everybody wanted to draft top 5 was Edwards-Helaire for Kansas City. Look how well that went for everybody. And I was one of those dumbasses, so I'll never do it again. Miles Sanders on the other side, not a bad running back. I think he should do well. We'll see how well that goes. But what's the spread on this one?
It is 3.5 for Atlanta.
To Atlanta. I like that, sort of, but I think Atlanta wins this one by 3 points and does not cover. That's the way I'm going with it. Atlanta by 3 and does not cover. They both suck, by the way. I just like Drake London better. I think the receivers both have questionable quarterbacks. The receiving core in Atlanta is better, and they have two running backs that'll open up the running game. So I'm going with Atlanta by 3.
The Panthers, I think the Panthers are the team that has the it could make a run. And I tried to look at their schedule and go, oh, this might be, if they have a competent, if the rookie quarterback comes in and plays up to his potential with all the parts, I thought Carolina might be a surprise team. And then I look at their schedule and I went, they just can't. But I do believe they're enough for the Falcons, who I believe that Riddler isn't good at all. And I think he's going to lose his job to Trask somewhere in the middle of the year. So I'm going to go with the Panthers by 3. I think that this is going to be a plucky team. They were a plucky team last year with their cast of quarterbacks that they had. I think this guy is going to be a future star, and they're going to be a hard out. And again, that goes with some of the bit players staying healthy, right? As you know, I'm not high up on the Falcons. I just don't. I don't like that team. I don't like the way that like you said, that why are you picking another running back? Like, even if he's a great running back, you don't need a running back at 5? That's when they picked him up.
Yeah.
You just don't. That's not where you waste that pick. You trade down, you get a couple picks. I mean, there is no running back that you pick up today that you go, okay, we're a 10-win team with this running back. Those days are gone. You can get that with a quarterback very easily though. So which they don't have. So Panthers by 3.
Wow, we are on opposite spectrums once again. One of us is going to look really stupid at the end of the week 1.
We generally split them, or I have an epic collapse like that Colts game, which made me sad.
Righty then.
The Battle of Ohio is next with Cincinnati and Cleveland.
Cincinnati and Cleveland. I'm pulling up my depth charts. I don't know what you need them. Obviously, Cincinnati. We know Cincinnati. You got Burrow,
Which you had a chance to draft,
and didn't. I went with Sunshine instead.
That
Will I regret it?
I'm pretty sure you're going to, but
look, Burrow has Chase, right? He's got Higgins. He's got Tyler Boyd. Irv Smith at tight end, not too impressed with, to be honest. His line is kind of where I got kind of concerned, man. Orlando Brown, good
but
lineman,
he's had him that bad line for 4 years now. Like, it's been the same bad line. I mean, I get you. It's bad.
He's got great receivers. I'm not saying he's not going to have a good season. He is. I don't know. Again, I just think Sunshine's going to have.
I'm happy with your gut feeling. I hope it's right. But to me, I put Daniels over Ridley. It's one of those games, right? Ridley's good. He's not Chase. Martin's better than Kirk, right? Those three guys are better than our three guys. The only thing that they're slacking is the tight end and the running back.
Call it what you call it, bro. I just had a gut,
I'm happy for your
I
guts.
had buyer's remorse. I did, and I was thinking, man, did I miss out? I still do. I still think that look, man. I sat there for a while between Burrow and him, and it is what it is. I pulled the trigger. Look, first and foremost, what league was it in? It was the VX9 league, correct?
I thought you did it in the RTI league. Was it the
Which
VX9?
one? It was the VX9.
They're all blurring together now.
Yeah, what?
Because you had Allen for yeah.
Oh, God, dumb. Look, here's the deal with the VX9 league. This is why, and I'll spit it here for everybody. This is why I go running back in VX9 league. Receivers and quarterbacks are not going to give you phenomenal points. They're not heavy on them. The way the point setting is different. I've gone running backs my whole 20 years in that league, and I've won more than anybody there for a reason. It's not the money league we're in together, that one is friendly to quarterbacks, very friendly to quarterbacks. So that's why I keep Allen. The VX9 one is not your quarterback's still going to be your top scorer, yes. But week in and week out, it's not going to give you 50 points. So that's why.
Yeah, I thought it was because I'd only been around there 4 years. So...
Well, you had your chance last season, buddy.
Hey, I've come in first, second, and third. Like, not bad.
Yeah. How many times have I won?
5? I think 5, we said. It might have been 6.
Yeah.
Because you won last year, so...
Years.
Yeah.
And the separation is getting more and more. It used to be every 2 years, then every 4 years. Now it'll be every 10 years.
Yeah, you're beating up on the young kids. You're basically playing football with geeks. So
hey, consistency is still there, though, right? I mean,
you're there,
and not just the VX9 league. I'm winning the money leagues too, so it's all good.
It's right there with you till I wasn't. Damn it.
Honestly, I think that maybe I know Burrow's going to have a good season. Don't get me wrong. Back to this game, Cleveland Cleveland is definitely going to live up to the team that quarterback's going to die. Deshaun Watson's career is ending in Cleveland. He'll be washing cars in 2 years, right? Or on a construction site somewhere, whatever it is. Or, on, what's it called? Pornhub, doing the taint tickler. Either way, the guy's season is going, his career's dead. They got Nick Chubb is the only running back there. They got rid of Kareem Hunt, right? It's going to be tough for
who's
for
with
Chubb
no
not to
one.
get spelled,
Who's with no one right now.
which is amazing.
Amazing.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. But as far as Chubb, I mean, there's no one to really spell him now. Who's Jeremy Ford? Jerome Ford? Never even heard of him.
No.
Pierre Strong Jr. What?
He's very strong.
Dude, Hub has been around for a while. He's gonna take he's taking a pounding, and Hunt would spell him. Now there's no spelling. Man.
And his name is John C.
Bad receiver, aging. Donovan Peoples-Jones, okay, he's finally starting to show up and show something. No, Joku's been to me a joke his whole career. Everybody was so big on him when he came out of college and into the Cleveland Browns, and he's never really lived up to the hype. This team is full of guys, other than Chubb, in my opinion, and Cooper, that never really lived up to the hype, man. Even Donovan Peoples-Jones. I remember watching him in college. He was with Michigan, correct? So never lived up to the hype, bro. That's what the Browns are. They've always been that. Always had in the same situation right now. They're not going to beat the Cincinnati Bengals. They're not going to beat Joe Burrow, and you know that. Joe Burrow is going to have every game that he always has, and that's, again, why my buyer's remorse. I just think that your boy Sunshine is going to tear it up. But Joe Burrows is definitely going to have a good season. Of course he is. So Mixon too, man. Mixon's older, aging, but when you've got the passing game that Cincinnati has, it opens up your running game huge, and vice versa. So again, to call it short, because we have other teams going on, Cincinnati wins this. And what's the spread? 2.5 to the Bengals? Man, they beat the bricks off Cleveland. Well, maybe not the bricks. I forgot one big part of Cleveland. They do have a solid defense. They will always have a solid defense. However, Myles Garrett is aging. Let's be honest. They've got a few other guys that are good. So the defense is going to be good. I don't think Cleveland's ever been the team where defense is going to die. That's for sure. They flourish in Cleveland, but the offense is full of guys that are just not going to cut it this season. It's going to look ugly. Um, I think Cincinnati wins this one. They 3.5. You said was the spread 2.5.
2.5.
Dude, they cover that spread. I'm going to keep it. What am I looking for? The word here.
Close 3. Like,
No. Conservative. I'm going to go with a 7-point win. It's Cincinnati by 7. I get too excited about some of these games.
I don't know. These are so. This is an interdivisional game. The Browns do have a great defense. They've got a great running back. They've got a great wide receiver. I like Njoku. He gets 700-800 yards every season. I love Chubbs. I like their defense. I like Myles Garrett. I think Watson, who isn't my favorite person, is following the Vic trajectory. That when Vic came back, he didn't look good, but he got back into game shape over a period of time, and he became decent, or highly decent, whatever. I don't think Watson's again, he was out of football for a year, sitting on a bench, not practicing, not playing, came to a new team, had to sit out, the first 8 games, 6 games, 8 games. Couldn't practice, couldn't get ready. Then you're thrown in the middle of the season, and they're like, Brisket, you're out. And he did a good job. Of course, the first few games were rough, as you would expect, because he hadn't played, hadn't practiced. And then the fans are turned on because we just went from a competent quarterback. I think he's had a full off season. I think he'll be. I don't think he'll be as good as he was 3 years ago, where he was an MVP candidate. But I think he's that much of a talent and an athlete. I say the Browns win this by 3.
The Browns. The what? Did you say the Browns?
I said the Browns.
Oh, now I know you're smoking crack. Did you go visit the same masseuse as Deshaun Watson?
I did.
Because you're being silly, boy.
I
That ain't
did.
happening. You think Cleveland beat Cincinnati?
Yep.
You're thinking that the Deshaun Watson's career revitalizes itself like the masseuses he hires? That ain't happening, dog. Deshaun Watson's career is over. It's been over since the whole scandal, man. Look, man, you gotta think that some of these guys, the karma follows them, bro. And when you go to Cleveland, you look at every quarterback that's gone there. Tell me a quarterback that's come out of Cleveland that's been special, or gone to Cleveland and been special.
Baker
last
Mayfield.
10 years.
No, there's none.
It's horrible. Deshaun Watson's career is over. Cleveland by 2. I kick you in the McNuggies.
Well, they beat him last year.
Definitely a ST.
They beat him last year with Brisket.
Brisket's a good quarterback.
Oh, I don't think so. I think Watson's a better quarterback.
That's 2 concussions ago with Nick Chubb, bro. How many concussions do running backs get that don't get reported? How many concussions do linemen get that don't get reported?
Yeah.
It's for real, bro. It's out there. Trust me.
Browns.
Browns
win.
linemen,
The Browns.
linemen don't report themselves, probably, bro. There's a lot of players out there that don't say anything. So, anyways, Cincinnati, the Bengals.
The Browns.
Next up.
Tampa Bay, Minnesota. Yes, we have to.
God. Jesus. Speaking of Cleveland quarterbacks that apparently leave the coop and fly the coop and think they're going to do something somewhere else, Baker Mayfield, I believe he's starting, correct?
That's
Let me
my
pull up his
understanding.
depth chart. Tampa Bay who?
The Bucs. The Bucs.
No, who are they playing?
Minnesota.
Oh, Jesus. Baker Mayfield is their starting quarterback. Then they have Kyle Trask. Okay. The running back, look, I'll say it here too. Rashard White, there's a reason why a lot of people did not draft him till
Richard.
round 7 or 8.
Because his name is Richard.
He's not the same. He's just not. He's not. Chase Edmonds is there. This is running back by committee big time in Tampa Bay. It might even be quarterback by committee by the end of week 3. Receiver wise, I still think Mike Evans has a lot in the tank. A lot of people don't. The problem is quarterback, right? So, it's not like it's Timmy Brady throwing to him anymore. Chris Goodwin's not bad.
Not even
This
old
team
Brady.
The defense is still okay, but this team is destined for failure, man. You've got Baker Mayfield at the head. Ugh. It just doesn't feel right, right? Wherever Baker goes now, the teams are going to be like, oh, okay, so you're the dime store version of an NFL team. We got it. It's just not going to work out here. Not for Baker, not for Tampa. I think Tampa has a horrible game against Minnesota Vikings. Again, they're NFL teams, bro, so don't get me wrong. But Kirk Cousins, he's got good weapons, big time. Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, I was big on. Rookie that came up. He surpassed KJ Osborne. Addison is going to be a great compliment to Justin Jefferson. And if he's available in your league, go get him now. Trust me on that. He is going to be the beneficiary of double coverages on Justin Jefferson, which Justin Jefferson will still get his, but Addison is going to be big this season, and you should go grab him. Again, it's still Kirk Cousins throwing the ball, so out of 10 passes, expect 4 completions, but it'll be 4 completions for like 100 yards. The team's just better. Then you got T.J. Hawkinson. Come on, man. Look at fantasy relevance on its own. There's no way Tampa Bay beats this team. I don't want to go long tooth again because I know we have other games and we're going a little late. But this team, Minnesota, with the addition of Hawkinson and so on and Addison, looks so much better. The only big question mark, and I'll say big question mark, is going to be Madison, right? With Cook's gone to the Jets. Can Madison be the man? He filled in great when Cooks was hurt. We know that. Different story now, right? Now you're asking this guy to go week in and week out and be the man. They obviously have a lot of confidence in him because, they didn't go get a big time. They didn't draft a running back that was big named.
Yep.
They got Ty Chandler. They did bring in Myles Gaskin, who could be all right, but
he's never really done it before either, right?
No, he's never been the man full time, right?
I think he wasn't he? He had the option in Miami one year, but he never.
Oh, Gaskin?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Gaskin isn't a flash in the pan, but he's out of 17 games, I'm going to give you 1 or 2 really good games, and then I'm going to just be
average.
He's the Naima Hines of the NFL, or however you say his name. But Madison, we'll see. That's the big question mark for the Vikings, bro. If he can come out and be what he is when he fills in for Cooks, wow, this team could be pretty good. However, they still got Dak Prescott's cousin over there, Kirk Cousins. So we'll see. But this game for sure, I think Minnesota wins. What's the spread on this one?
It is 6 points for the Vikes.
Covered. I say they win this one by 10.
Do you? So the Bucs are aging. They've been that way for a couple years now. Evans is good, Godwin's good, but they've lost a lot of their depth that made them special. Do you see any world that Baker turns around? Because I know you like Baker when he came out of college. I liked him. I liked his guts, but I don't. He just doesn't seem to put it together. And I don't know if it's a Manziel thing. I don't look at the playbook. I don't know if it's an arm talent thing. But do you think that he has any chance of turning around?
Man, I did like Baker coming out of college, big time. I was a fan of his. I thought he was an exciting player, but let's be honest, man. I was kind of a Johnny Manziel fan too. So what do I know?
But do you think it's?
I don't think so, bro. I don't think there is a possibility for Baker to do something big time special. No, I don't, man. I don't. He went to LA and had one good game, right?
Yeah,
one good game.
Like, didn't even know the playbook, which scares the heck out of me. Like,
well, how do you scheme for a guy like that? Think about it.
Yeah, he's just a wild card. He's out there just slinging the ball around.
The way he played his whole career, and that's why he's not in Cleveland anymore, or considered a top tier quarterback.
Yeah,
because he's just gunslinging it. In the NFL, you can't just go out there and throw the ball, bro. You can't. Everybody says Brady was old. Brady probably did more homework and more of everything and just studied everything so much more than any other quarterback that he can go out there and pick apart a defense. He already knew everybody's tendencies, everybody's everything. Brady, there's a reason why he played so long. That and the deal with the devil. But
yes,
Brady did his thing.
So do me a favor. Have you heard anything about the Colorado quarterback? Sanders'
Deion
kid.
Sanders'
Yeah,
kid?
yeah.
A
So
little bit.
basically, he had an interview where he's talking about it, and of course, he set all kinds of records. And I think the first time they ever had four wide receivers over 100 yards. But basically, he said, how's your kid? Someone asked him, how's your kid kind of so unflappable? And he's like, I taught him defenses. Like, he walks to the line and he knows what's going on because I showed him what all the things are. So he's come, he's got Deion Sanders coaching him up, saying this is what's going to happen when this happens. This goes on. He knows all the chess moves, and it becomes you walk to the line now, and it's I'm throwing to this guy. Like, now it's just simply setting your feet, and letting it rip, right? You definitely don't feel that way with Baker. Baker's like, I'm looking downfield, and I'm looking for an opening. I don't. It blows me away that in a professional league with professional athletes, you get studying habits. I guess is the best way to say it, right?
Well, some do, some don't, right? Look, example, Patty Mahomes. He's not a full studier. He's a half and halfer, bro. Half of it is some studying, and half of it is just Patty. The kid makes plays. He's phenomenally blessed. He's really blessed, and that's the way his career will end up. Almost like, but does he study? Not as much as you probably would think. You can see it out there in the way he plays, man. He just makes plays happen. But he's got a lot
God-given
around
talent.
him.
Anybody who in an NFL game is throwing, and they play fun. And I think Randy Reed lets them play a little loose and fun. When you're throwing the ball left-handed and you're a right-handed quarterback, yeah, so.
Baker Mayfield is no Patrick Mahomes.
Correct.
Right? He doesn't have the same talent. He tries to, and it's just not it. Again, dime store Patrick Mahomes, just like Trey Lance with the Cowboys, just drafted or picked up. Again, though, no man, I don't see our Baker Mayfield having this amazing comeback of a season or doing great. So I don't, man. I think that he's on the downtrend, and yeah, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are committed to him right now. How long that'll last, I don't know. Maybe he looks good in camp and everything is going well now, but Baker Mayfield seems to get choked with all the pressure, bro. We'll see how it turns out. But no, I don't. I don't think they have a great season. I think Baker. There's a reason why he went from. There's a reason why LA didn't keep him, right? Like there's reasons why he's not anywhere special or considered a top quarterback. And that's not just us talking. There's plenty of professionals or experts that see it. So he's not gonna have a great game here. He's not gonna have a good season. And again, I'm pretty sure I said Minnesota by what?
7.
7?
Yeah.
Man, I almost want to kick that up, but I'll go 7. Conservative again.
The line is escape.
6. 6 to Minnesota.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do the same. This one again, the Vikings are a better team. I personally like to see Mayfield turn around. I think he'll have a decent year. I think he will. I don't know. I think he's definitely a limited ceiling. And that's why, people want the Mahomes, they want the Allens, they want the number one, the guy that had that option. And I think Baker's shown that he's not going to hit that ceiling. And that's why teams are kind of giving up on him.
Yeah.
So I will join you in the 7-point Viking win club.
You know what the funniest thing about this game is? If you really look at the fantasy relevance, Tampa Bay should have some, right? Like Rashard White. I don't think so.
But it gets killed by the quarterback, right?
Correct. It offsets it, right? You're like, all right, Mike Evans and Baker Mayfield or Kyle Trask. My bad.
Yeah. Although he might actually be a better option. We'll see. But yeah, Vikes are going to win this one. Next game is going to be the Niners at the Steelers.
Well, I mean, hold on. Let me pull up the goodies. On paper, you already know the Niners are better. Brock Purdy or not, right? Will Brock Purdy have another? Like, this guy was literally was he the last pick in the NFL draft?
Yes.
I mean, Mr. Irrelevant, right? And he comes out.
So one second about I want to know your thoughts. Because the Niners gave up a buttload of things to get Trey Lance. And you get Trey Lance, and you got
User
Jimmy
joined
G,
your channel.
and then you also draft a guy in the 7th round, or 7th round. Not even a Brady story. It was not the 6th round. It was the 7th round. You draft this kid, and then next thing you know, he's starting, and you're sending Trey Lance off to the Cowboys for cab fare.
Man, I guess the theory of you just never know is relevant, right? You just never know. Look where they got Tom Brady, so on and so forth. I don't know that this guy would just slide through so many and be Mr. Irrelevant, and then how did so many people miss Brock Purdy, right? In this day and age, it's kind of tough, man. It really is.
Well, it's probably a lot like Brady, right? There's nothing on his resume that stands out and goes, this guy's going to be a 5,000. He's not 6'6". He doesn't have a cannon for an arm. Those are the things that they look for, right? And sometimes it's the intangibles of leadership and you've got to be able to make all the throws. So don't get me wrong. It's not some kid off the couch can throw 5 yards is going to be a quarterback in the NFL. You've got to make all the throws. You've got to be able to get rid of the ball quick. But sometimes it's those intangibles that make a Tom Brady. He was not a Patty Mahomes, right? He didn't do anything physically intimidating, but he knew how to get the ball. He got it there with accuracy, on time, knew the playbook inside and out, right? And I think that's why it's so hard for some of those quarterbacks that they get overlooked. Kurt Warner was sitting in a grocery store, right?
He was. I don't know, man. I mean, this day and age, again, I'm surprised that nobody's really picked up on him, and all of a sudden, but man, can those things happen? Yeah, isn't that the beauty of the NFL, right? The not the majesticness of it, but the man, these things happen. Kurt Warner, like you said, and other players, they happen, man. They happen, and that's great. They must really believe in him, but is this the same crew that really believed in Trey Lance? I'm just asking, big question mark there, right?
Oh, and believed in Jimmy G and believed in,
There you go. I'm just saying the track record for the 49ers in picking quarterback, kind of sketchy, right? Like, I'm not asking these dudes for advice on some things, but
I know you go from a high paid free agent in Jimmy G to a affordable draft pick that's a 1st round pick to a 7th round pick that is a steal. On the salary cap alone, if you're making decisions, that opens up so many more. That's how you pay a Bosa. That's how you pay this team that has a window, and they're frustrated because they're getting snake bit. They had no injuries except for at the quarterback, right? So, it's an interesting time, and again, I can't believe you spent all that draft capital to trade up to get Trey Lance, and then you give up after basically 4 games.
Well, let's say this: the guy who really pushed for Trey Lance to get drafted was almost going to get fired, and then like, hey, I'm the same guy that brought you Purdy. All right, man, we'll keep it.
I guess.
Hey, like, I don't know. That's a big question mark for the 49ers in my book. Did Purdy have a good season? Like, come out and surprise? Yeah, will that translate to this season? They believed in enough to get rid of Trey Lance, but I think they got rid of Trey Lance because he's trash. And the Cowboys, I don't know what the hell they were thinking, but I guess you can't do much worse in Dakota. We'll see with Brock Purdy. Now, on the flip side of all that, though, bro, you've got Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, who I love.
Mm-hmm. Kittle.
Jawan Jennings, not bad. Kittle. You still have the fullback, whatever you call him, Jusic. I mean, this team is nice, bro. The offense is built well. The defense is built well. This is going to be a tough team to beat week in and week out. On the flip side of that, Pittsburgh, right? Pickett, who they're hoping this year is going to be the better year. They still got Mitch Trubisky back there from Chicago. I don't even know how to say his name anymore.
Mitch.
Najee Harris, we'll see. I think that's going to be a running back by committee in Pittsburgh with Warren. They do have great receivers and Pickens and Johnson. I like it a lot. They got your boy Allen Robinson, which for some reason you loved, and now you don't. Tight end for Muth is pretty good. So both teams offensively, if you stack them side by side, you would definitely go the 49ers, right? Like there's so much more fantasy relevance on the 49ers side than there would be. You're not picking Pickett as a top quarterback. Maybe you take Johnson and Pickens. The running back people took, I wasn't big on Najee Harris. I do like Warren. I think he'll end up being the starter eventually, but the tight end's not bad. But you look at the 49ers, and they're loaded. They're just loaded. Aside from the quarterback, you got McCaffrey, Samuel, Ayuk, even Jennings as a wide receiver 3 or 4 isn't bad. You got Kittle. Like, this team is just on paper and fantasy relevance is the better team. With that said, I think the 49ers win it, but what is the spread?
We have no idea. 2-point spread to the 49ers.
They cover. I think they. I mean, I can go conservative and say by 3, but I do think they win this game by a little bit more. Pittsburgh's no wimp, right? Like, they have great coaching. I love their coaching. They're going to come out. They're going to play good defense. They have a good defense as well. So a 3-point win isn't something that you say like, wow, no, they win by more. That's actually kind of accurate, right? I'm going to go 49ers by 7, though. Again, seems like 7 is my number today.
To me, all the things you just said, the Niners are the NFC best team, in my opinion. They are the best team. I think they're better than the Eagles. Again, we're assuming that Purdy's elbow is attached correctly and there's no issues, right? Because they're, unlike last year, there is no 3 deep quarterback. So, to me, they're the class of the NFC. I think they get over the hump this year and get to the Super Bowl. I think they take out the Steelers. I'm gonna do 3 though. And for the reason you said, the Steelers are going. It's at Pittsburgh. They're well coached. They're gonna hit you in the mouth. They're not gonna be an easy out. And Daniel says they hate the Steelers in Cleveland, so go 49ers. So 49ers for both of us. Next up.
Well, there you go. What'd you say for the win? How many points?
3.
Oh, you went with a 3. I went with a 7.
Uh,
Mine's always been bigger, though. A spread.
An NFC North battle, the Packers and the Bears.
All right, Ripper doesn't watch chat. That's 1 point to the Bears.
I'm coming. So I'm pulling up the goodies. I see Calvin Ridley walked in too. Hi, Calvin.
What's up, gentlemen, lady? Sorry for the work delay.
It's all right. We had to rely on Calvin Ridley Jr. times 2 or version 2.
2.0.
Time store version of Calvin Ridley. All right, so we got Green Bay and Chicago, the Bears. This one here, a little interesting to me, and I'll tell you why. Battle of the not-so-great quarterbacks, in my opinion. I don't know where everyone's so excited about Justin Fields. I saw him go a little high on some of these drafts, and I was like, why? Even some of the mock drafts, he was going up high because, another tip.
I told you why. He's a 1,000-yard rusher.
Another tip for you fantasy people that I'll tell you after that I also do. I will roll through at least 10 mock drafts to see where people are going and tendencies, because that helps me kind of drop players certain rounds and so on and so forth. Just a tip. It's all good. Mock drafts are very
people,
but they're beneficial.
People even on the mock drafts, I found that people do things that I'm like, why? like the Justin Fields one. I get the concept that if he can somewhat throw the ball forward, which he hasn't been able to so far, but if he can somewhat throw, and he did against Tennessee in the preseason, which makes me feel happy about Tennessee's defense. But if he can throw the ball forward and he can still run and he gets all the touchdowns on the ground, he will be a fantasy relevant quarterback because he's that fast on the ground. But we're thinking he's still going to throw for 700 yards and run for 8.
Well, we'll see. I guess.
And 8 is 8,000.
Battle of the. I don't know, man. I'm not sold on Justin Love. Let's start off with that. And I'm pretty sure I said that when we're doing some of the early shows and we did the records and all that good stuff.
Yeah, well, especially because Justin Love doesn't play quarterback. But
good old Justin Love.
Jordan Love. I combined the names. Whatever.
I liked it.
You knew what I was talking about here, Strikey.
Decent
So-
arm, decent leg. There we go.
So Jordan Love and Justin Fields. We'll start with that. Both quarterbacks to me, we'll see. I think Jordan Love has the better possibility to be the better quarterback if he had better receivers, right? He's got Dobbs and Watson, and I'm big on Christian Watson. Dobbs ain't bad either, but Aaron Rodgers didn't do extremely great with those receivers. What is Jordan Love going to do? They have an aging running back, and A.J. Dillon is right behind Aaron Jones, but A.J.'s kind of old too. He just doesn't have as much wear and tear as Aaron Jones. The Packers, to me, are going to go through a transition where they're going to be questioning, like, is it time to replace someone like Aaron Jones? Is it time to go get us a big name receiver? They're going to do stuff they should have done when Rodgers was there, right? Then they didn't. So we'll see. But to me, both these teams are kind of in a place where you're like, Now, the Bears, to me, Khalil Herbert, not bad. Definitely running back by committee, but I said it earlier. I think Rashawn Johnson eventually will be the starting running back for the Bears. He's the better Texas running back. You heard it here again. I do think he was a great Texas running back. Robinson, the other one, had a lot more hype and did a lot more, but Johnson is a great running back. Receiver-wise, you got DJ Moore, Darryl Mooney, and Chase Claypool. For me, receivers are about even. It's going to come down to, I wouldn't say the running game, but yeah, it probably will come down to the running game. It's going to be a war of who's throwing less picks, who's doing worse. If the Jordan Love that I think sucks comes out and because I'm an idiot and Jordan Love is a great quarterback, we'll see. But again, if Aaron Rodgers can do great with those receivers, what is Jordan Love going to do? Long story short, because I know we got to move on. I want to say the Bears win this one. I don't want to say it. I don't like either one of these teams. I wish I could just put them both as losers. But what's the spread? I'm going to let the spread decide on this one.
1 point to the Bears because they knew this was that kind of game.
Oh my God. You're serious.
The Bears win 1-0.
I'm going to let the yeah, really. I'm going to say the Bears win this one 2-0. I'll give the Bears a 3-point win on this one. The Bears, yeah, I know. I don't know why, but I think I'm thinking that the running back committee will do well. I think they're going to give Johnson an opportunity and he's going to shine. We'll see. But the Bears by 3. I talk too much.
I'm scared Justin Fields is actually going to be competent throwing the ball, and we're all going to be like, damn, he can throw the ball. I don't think that's the case. And I feel that he's a running back in disguise as a quarterback. I don't feel the same about Jordan Love. I think Watson's going to take a step forward. I think the Packers are going to be a decent team, and I think that they handle the Bears here at home. If I am wrong and Justin Fields throws for 500 yards, I'm going to hop on the Bears bandwagon. But I had the Packers by 3. There you go, Skull. I love you, buddy.
If Fields breaks out this year, I'm going to be thrilled because of the money league the three of us are playing in.
Oh, because it auto-drafted you with Fields and 10 running backs?
Yep.
10 running backs, 2 receivers, 2 kickers, was it? Wow, Striker, that draft was hilarious. But I did say if anybody needs a running back, we'll talk to Striker.
That is also correct. If anybody needs a running back, talk to Striker. The Fish and the Chargers.
Pull it up. Hold on.
Two
LA
a time.
by 3. That's basically a home field advantage at 3 points. Like, that's all that is. So it's essentially an even game with the Chargers being home getting the 3.
What are we in Chargers in Miami?
Chargers,
Mammy?
Chargers, Dolphins. They're playing in California. That's SoFi.
I'm pulling it up. All right. So Chargers have a new contract, $1 million boy, Justin Herbert, playing against. I'm one hit away from serving fries at McDonald's Tua.
No, I don't think you can serve fries if you get hit that many times.
Well,
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm one hit away from like never walking again, Tua.
Yeah.
well, I honestly think Tua's career is going to end horribly wrong, and I hope not. I think that he's taking a lot of chances. After that big hit and the way he was twitching, man, honestly, I would have figured retirement. I still don't see it, dude. you're one big hit away from that same thing, and that next big hit may just keep you that way for the rest of your life. I pray that it's not, but I really would. I mean, it's hard, right? These guys get to the NFL. Two things, man: the fact that you're there and the fact that you're making money, right? It's so hard to walk away from, especially since he's still on a rookie contract, right?
Mm-hmm. That is correct.
He's got to play it through till he gets that big guarantee money, man. And it sucks, but the NFL is a business, and these guys know that. They know that they are a commodity, and they're their own commodity, right? That's the only way to make money, and it's horrible. But I pray that he doesn't have another big hit. I pray that they, I don't know, that he's protected. That God protects him. Anybody, I don't know what to say really, but
well, he's also 25, right? Where when you're 25, you think you're 7 foot tall and bulletproof. Like, even though he's had the concussions, he doesn't. He's not thinking that my brains are getting scrambled, and and looking at all the data from the CTEs and going, people that get hurt like I do later don't remember it. Their kids. Like that's
but there's also reasons why people take risks for money, right? There's reasons why people take risks for big money.
I mean, that's like, some of those, explosive ordnance disposal. Once you get out of the military, you can make a lot of money removing bombs, but you can also, remove your hand. So,
or your life.
All right, so let's go fantasy relevance on these two teams. Quarterback wise, both draftable. I think I'd get Herbert before Tua. Running back wise, I think that's where you run into a little bit of a difference. I think Eckler definitely better than Mustard and whoever Salvon Ahmed is.
The former 49ers backfield, right?
Correct. So, running back wise, you're looking at Los Angeles as well. Receivers is where it gets interesting, right? You got Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, always gets hurt, and Joshua Palmer and Joel Everett at tight end. Where Miami, you've got a tight end that we don't even know, but you've got Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. Braxton Berrios is an okay receiver, but receiving core, you'd give it to Miami. This game is going to be, I think on paper it looks good. I think it'll be a pretty good game. Herbert is an amazing quarterback. He's not at that Mahomes. He's that third tier, right? You got Mahomes, and you got Burrow and Allen, and then you got Herbert and Sunshine and a few others. Tough game. What's the spread here?
3 points to the Chargers, so home field basically.
I think Herbert's a good quarterback. I think this is going to be a good game, but I'm going to go with Miami, man. I think the combination of Waddle and Hill is going to be great. Tua is a good quarterback, bro. Concussions aside, he is a great quarterback. He can be great. I think he'll do well. I think Miami. You said 3 to the Chargers?
Yeah.
I think Miami wins this one. Flip it away. I'll give Miami by 3 on this one. Hello?
I'm typing. Yeah, I mean, I'm in the same boat. I'm not a Herbert believer. I think they overpaid for him. I think that if, again, you got Eckler who will get his, but man, Tyreek, he's a star. Waddle's a star. The Dolphins have made some moves on the defense on just filling up that team. I think Miami 3 is the right spot. Sorry, Striker, go ahead.
I was just going to say the only other thing I'd add is that I think even if Tua goes down, Mike White is a very, very capable backup. So Miami still takes this any way you look at it.
And we talked about that in the Miami preview, is that I feel he's definitely an upgrade from what Bridgewater was last year. So, yep. Tyreek in his quest for 2,000 yards. The Rams and the Sea Chickens.
Seattle by 5.5 at home.
The Rams and the Sea Chickens. Oh boy, the Rams are still what they are. Seattle definitely added, to me on paper, the better team, right? Quarterback wise, Geno, I think, proved that he could be a not top tier quarterback, obviously, but I think I think he kind of slides into that third tier to me, anyways, with Herbert and Sunshine and all those other right now. He may be one tier under, but he's definitely working his way up. I think he proved last year that he can be a starting quarterback, man. And I think that Seattle rewarded him with trusting him this season. I don't know if they've given him a new contract yet, have they?
They
For
gave,
Gino?
they gave him something.
Yeah, they gave him a new contract.
What to give him?
It was, I think, in 2 years. I'm going over the cap. Hold on.
Either way, he did really well, man. Drew Lock behind him, yeah, come on now. I think Gino is man, and I'm happy for that guy, right? That quarterback that came out and then went into oblivion, and then like look at him now. That's great for Gino, and he's doing really well. Again, though, you got Metcalf and Lockett, who to me are great receivers. They drafted really well with this new receiver Jackson Smith, Najigaba, however you say. I don't know how to say his name. Nahiba, how do you say his name? You should know, Shark. He's your team.
Oh, we just call him JSN.
All right, well, that guy, great receiver. Tight end Noah Fant, I like. It's a good team, man. They're a good team. Fantasy wise, you're drafting Lockett, you're drafting Metcalf. Walker, we'll see. I think that's where the big question mark is, but it's okay for Seattle because this rookie they drafted, I think, is going to be phenomenal eventually. For some reason, Seattle always. They've got they'll start with one and have something loaded in the chamber that always ends up being good, but he's good for a year or two, and then it's the next guy, right? Seattle kind of rotates through running backs, but they're always good running backs. The team looks good again, matched up to the the Rams. Matthew Stafford, we still have that whole question mark there, right? Is he going to be good? Is he not going to be good? I guess we'll see.
Which Matthew Stafford will show up.
Well,
now,
and Cooper Kupp being out week 1, I'm surprised Vegas hasn't changed the line yet because that
what's the line
Cooper
right
Kupp
now?
was out week 1. They announced that a little bit ago.
What's the line?
That's 5.5 to Seattle.
I think that's a fair line. I don't like the receivers without Cooper Kupp. There's that. Cam Akers, come on now. Stafford aging. Stetson Bennett is behind him, but he's out regardless. Van Jefferson and Tutu Atwell to replace Cooper Kupp. Come on now. And who else is Puka Nakuka? I don't know that name, but read the name on the guy that backs up Cooper Kupp is Puka Nakua. I mean, I don't know who that is. That's a funny ass name. Either way, this team just doesn't look fantasy relevance on paper matched up to Seattle. I think Seattle dominates this game. You said the line was 3.5 to Seattle.
5.5 to Seattle.
Easy. I think Seattle wins this game by 10 points. Seattle by 10. Sorry, Rams, you won't win with a guy named Puka Nakuka. I ain't making that up. That's the guy's name.
I think Stafford was hurt last year. I think he's going to have a better year this year. I obviously hope Cooper Kupp comes back.
Stafford's 42 years old. He's 35. He's old in football years.
Hey, he is, but he's
still been around 15 years too.
Still won the Super Bowl 2 years ago. So he had a bad year last year. Obviously was hurt. Probably too tough of a guy to say he's hurt, and hopefully that got sorted out in the offseason. Akers was a bust last year in the beginning of the year and then had 6 straight 100-yard games. I am cautiously optimistic he's going to turn it around again, although I'm afraid he might eat himself out in the beginning of the year. So I'm going to probably bench him for a couple games. For whatever reason, I think the Rams are going to win. And this is one of those, I don't believe in the Seahawks, and I don't believe in Gino, and I believe Aaron Donald was going to eat him one play. So
me?
I'm going to do the Rams by 3.
Wow. You're going to eat crow on that one. That's
wow. Well, you're going to have a bad week, buddy.
Yeah. Happens.
Or I'm going to have one.
Someone's having a bad week, and it's all right. It's all right if it's you.
Wardy's been going cray-cray on a lot of I think he's trying to get a big knockout punch week 1. Bam! I went so big, and I won them all, and Al Ripper will never catch up.
No, because you know how this is. When you pick these games, there's always teams that go, I can't tell you how many times we would have put a team as a lock, and they win. It's any given Sunday, man. I mean,
And it's week 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
and this will. I've had years that we done these we often do these things for money where you basically write your wins and you write the Monday night score, right, and you all put in $10 and winner takes all.
Pick'ems.
And I've had years that, like, first game I'm on it, and I've had years first game totally completely off. You just don't know what all's transpired over the offseason. There's people like you make fun of that guy's name. If he gets 400 yards the first game, you're not going to make fun of him anymore. You're going to be like, that guy's a beast, right? So there's a lot of new names, a lot of, we don't have access to the game film. We don't see all the stuff the ESPN analysts see, and, oh, this guy's, dominating at the line of scrimmage. You go based on what you know from last year. So that's it. Rams.
Well,
And then
I think Warriors got cuckoo.
Probably. And then we got the Bills and the Jets. And 2.5 line to the Bills. As our
Uncle Rico. Well, first off, Wardy, you missed Striker. You missed Wardy breaking Uncle Rico's heart earlier.
Correct.
So if Uncle Rico, crosses the border or crosses the immigration checkpoints and makes it up to wherever Wardy's at. I'm not going to say it out loud in case Uncle Rico's listening. I won't give his address unless the money's right. Long story short, he dissed the Jets. Uncle Rico's crying.
No, I actually said that the Bills are going to be the top seed. Or the Jets.
So,
the Jets are going to be the top seed. That's what I said.
Yeah. You jinxed them.
Jinx.
Remember last year when you said
Thought
the
you
Colts
said
were going
diss.
to be the top seed?
Correct.
Yeah. No. You jinxed them.
Thank you, Aaron.
All right. So, Jets at the Buffalo Bills. Obviously, I have love for Josh Allen because we're in a money league together where all three of us are in the money league now, by the way. Yeah.
Although some of us has 10 running backs.
2 receivers and 2 kickers.
Don't worry about it. I'll trade. I'll make a trade. I got enough. I got enough to field a team right now. So
I couldn't stop laughing when I said. Well, first off, I think you took one that I was mad about, but then you did. You were still there when you took him. My damn Egyptian receiver. That's the only one that I knew it too. I was like, this. You stayed to take him and then you left. I'm like, man, couldn't you have just left before you took him? You would end up with 11 running backs. But that's a good pickup. You know that. I think I only got him in one league. It was hard to get him. Everybody was onto him by now. I didn't think I'd get him again. Long story short, where we at? Josh Allen, top tier. Right? He's a tier 2 quarterback, right? Tier 1 is Patrick Mahomes, the standard, and everything under that is Allen and Burrows at 2, which I hope Sunshine joins that one this season. We've gone to that. They picked up James Cook. They didn't pick. I'm sorry. That's the Jets. They have James Cook.
Dalvin.
Where the Jets have his brother.
Yes.
Dalvin Cook. So it's Battle of the Cook brothers at running back. This game has a lot of interesting stuff that's going to happen, right? The Battle of the Cook brothers should be great. Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen. This game is a game to watch. When is this game?
This
the
is a
Sunday
Monday
night game. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, because the Sunday night game is the Cowboys, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think this one and the Rams are the 2 Monday night games.
Man, such a great game for a Monday night, honestly. Fantasy relevance again. James Cook went. People were drafting him probably too high. Some others, but Josh Allen obviously top tier. Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis should be pretty good this season. Also, the receiver is going to be questionable with Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid. I think both of those are going to share some reps, and both should be okay. But again, you're splitting an okay receiver or tight end in 2 as far as points. On the other side of it, the Jets, right? You've got Aaron Rodgers, and I think he's on a down slope. Maybe I'm alone on that. Running back wise, Dalvin Cook will be the starter, not Breece Hall. I can guarantee that. I think Breece Hall will learn a lot from him. We'll see. We'll see what Dalvin Cook's got, right? He could be in the down slope too.
He is in the down slope, but the question is how much is in the tank, right?
Well, how much do you need, right? Look at Aaron Rodgers at Green Bay. How much they rely on Aaron Jones when you had Aaron Rodgers, right? They ran him, sure, and he did well, but Aaron Rodgers tore it up for him. We'll see how the situation comes. He didn't come to the Jets to just run the ball. You know that. He came to the Jets to be the quarterback he's always been. He's going to do things that they're allowing him the freedom to do what he wants, obviously. And we'll see how that turns out for him. But this is an interesting game. What's the spread here?
2.5 to the Bills.
Man,
So it's
I
basically
say-
a coin flip.
I say interesting, man, because again, on paper, right? Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers. I like Josh Allen better than I'll ever like Aaron Rodgers with the Jets, and that's the truth. I think Allen has the better receivers. I mean, come on, Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson's a good one though. That's an up and coming one. But you're looking at what Cobb and Lazard and all these. Come on now. I'm not saying it's a tough one. I'm going to go with the Bills. Obviously, I think my thing is how much will the Bills win by. Aaron Rodgers ain't no joke, right? He's dangerous regardless age or not. Uh, I think he's still as good as a lot of the quarterbacks in the NFL. He is not in the first tier, 2 tiers of quarterbacks. I don't even put him in the third tier, to be honest. He's in the tier with Dakota and Cousins and other guys, in my opinion. So we'll say that fourth tier, right? I'll still go with the Bills. I think the Bills will win it by 7. They just have the better team. Defensive wise, the Jets are for real. Let's talk about defense real quick. So are the Bills. Those two defenses are going to play a good game. But end of day, the fact that Allen Rodgers can also be a run. I mean, yeah, Allen Rodgers. I did it again, didn't I? Allen can also be a running back. Makes a big difference. And this is why I give the Buffalo Bills a 7-point win.
So Dalvin Cook this year should have a great year, and that's what I'm thinking he's going to have, and that's probably the thing the Bills need to take them over the top. Right? They needed a great running back, or a really good running back. He has the potential to be a great running back. Diggs, Davis, studs. Knox is a more than adequate red zone threat. Allen's a great quarterback. Their defense isn't quite as good as it was. The Jets' defense is as good or better. I think they'll be the number 1 defense this year. Rodgers has got a chip on his shoulder. Cook's got a chip on his shoulder. I think they're at home and they want to show the world that they're the better team. And I think that defense can help them. I think they win by 3. Jets, Jets.
I'm gonna go the opposite way. Bills by 2 touchdowns. I don't think the Jets have enough in the tank week 1, and I think the Bills are gonna come out feisty. So
Alrighty. That is our show. How time? 2 hours. Got through everybody. Any last thoughts, save rounds?
It's a tough season, man. It's week 1, so what are we looking for? A big highlight. Like, who's gonna really surprise us week 1? Man, team wise, I don't really think that we're gonna see any big surprises. I think, what I love about week 1 and week 2 are the fantasy surprises, right? Like, there's always somebody that we know had a good preseason, but we didn't draft because we didn't think, and then week 2 we're all on that waiver wire trying to grab them, right? I think that's going to come at the running back position more than anything else. You know, this league is so pass happy right now that you're going to have a lot of receivers up and coming, right? And there's some out there that you'll know right away. But I think the biggest surprise this season is going to be running backs that are no-name running backs, like we have every season, right? But I do think that we're going to have running backs that again, another Hilaire situation with the guy in Atlanta. I don't see him having a big season like everybody thinks he is. He's going to split carries with Algiers. Uh, I love football, man. I love that it's back, and I love that we're at week 1. But big surprise wise, as far as a team or anything else, I just don't see it, right? If you look at all the ones on paper, like your 49ers and your Eagles and, the Bills and the Bengals, you're pretty much on track. And I think we're supposed to pick who our Super Bowl champion is, right, this week?
Sure.
No? Well,
We can definitely do that.
AFC, I think your AFC championship game, honestly, I'm going to do it because I believe that much in it. I think your Jacksonville Jaguars will be there against your Buffalo Bills. Something like that in your AFC championship game. I don't want to jinx your team, bro. But man, I think your Jaguars are going to get to the Super Bowl this season in the AFC. I honestly do. Maybe I'm crazy.
Where they get eviscerated by.
I don't know, man. There's something about this team that I have a feeling they're going to just. That's the biggest surprise, I think. For me, that's going to be the biggest surprise this season. I think it'll be the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think they're going to have a phenomenal season, and Sunshine hits that top tier. And I'm not saying that I drafted him because I believe he will be. That's in the AFC and the NFC. It's honestly, there's no team that's going to surprise me, right? Like not like, oh, the Cowboys are going to go to the Super Bowl. I, the Cowboys will hit the Super Bowl when Dakota Prescott and Jerry Jones are no longer there. I think Jerry Jones will always be the problem, but I won't go into that. You heard me. I think the two teams here that you can see on top, and maybe there's some contention whatever, from Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings, but we know it's going to be pretty much your 49ers and your Philadelphia Eagles. There's a couple teams that can really challenge that, in my opinion. And I would love to see it happen. And believe it or not, it's Strikey's team, the Seahawks. I just think a quarterback like Geno deserves that Cinderella story where he gets to the Super Bowl and wins. Just for where he's been and what he's gone through. That's a good dude, bro. But the truth and the honesty of all it is that the game is what the game is, and the Philadelphia Eagles and the 49ers are miles ahead of a lot of teams right now. And I think that's where I think that we're going to see a rematch again of the NFC Championship. And I'm not going to say one way or another, but man, I guess I'm going to have to. I hate to do it, and you know why? Because they're an NFC East team. But I think we're going to see the Eagles in the Super Bowl
As the winners?
No, the Jaguars win.
Oh.
Yeah, I know, crazy. But when it happens,
I will kiss your buns.
you better get that lube ready, doggy.
Mine's gonna be. I think it's the Jags and the Jets. So, despite all my scarediness. And then the other side, the 49ers and the Cowboys. In a 1980 throwback, and the 49ers take it all.
Wow. So I'm going to go Jacksonville, and I'm going to actually go with Cincinnati for my other. I think there's something Cincinnati's going to be able to roll this year, and I can't explain it other than Jamar Chase, right? I think they've got the pieces at the moment. I think they can do it. I think Buffalo has some injuries. I think Kansas City has some injuries, which allows Jacksonville and Cincinnati to end up as the top two. I think it's a coin flip coming out of that, and I'll take Jacksonville just because I think that's the better. I think that's the happier win for me. I'd much rather see Jacksonville get to the Super Bowl. I'm gonna go a little bit newer school. I'm gonna go Seahawks Cowboys, and I'm gonna go a Tony Romo hold failure again for the win for the Seahawks. And Ripper knows exactly what I'm talking about when I say that. So I think Seattle's a sneaky team this year. I really do. I think they've got a lot of good players on the offensive side. They got Bobby Wagner's back on the linebacker side, and I think Dallas is just going to come out of that slugfest and survive the injuries. For me, the problem I run into on the NFC side is there just isn't much. I don't think the Niners are going to be that good because if Brock Purdy isn't everything he was supposed to be, I mean, you're talking Sam Darnold as their backup. I'm sorry, but that's you're putting a lot on a rookie quarterback. You want to talk about putting a lot on Geno, you're putting a lot on a rookie or a second-year quarterback who basically got thrown in. And then Philly, and I just don't think Philly's going to be healthy enough this year to stay it. I think they're going to have a key injury that'll take them down at the wrong point. So Cowboys, Seahawks, Jaguars, because I'm totally making it a homer pick, and I got to make the Seahawks the homer win then. So, yep, total homer pick, don't care.
Yeah. Great. Everybody picked my team. Huh. That means they're going to be terrible. First overall pick in the next year's draft, the Jaguars. Okay. Well, I'm going to go cry and watch as the Colts dominate my team in week 1.
So while we're at it, before you get off, I have a question for you, but it's not football related.
Okay. After the show?
Yeah, it's just involving the new video game out that you're playing.
Okay.
What are you playing?
Starfield.
Oh, I've seen it. I just haven't jumped on it yet.
It's
Yeah.
free
boys.
on Game Pass.
I gotta jump on a phone call, but cool.
All right,
Is
guys.
it fun, Starfield? I'll
This
check it out.
was fun. All right, guys. Thanks for coming. Remember, this is September. If you guys got an Amazon Prime sub to me. Thank you. Other than that, thanks chat for hanging out. Sorry I didn't talk to you any at all, but you guys are great. We're out.